Anatomy and Physiology is a challenging course, and to succeed, you have to be on top of your work from day one. You'll sign up for the class thinking you have a whole semester, but it's not going to be like that. The pace is relentless. Right after you sign up, you'll find the class advancing so rapidly that it feels like you're trying to drink from a fire hose. The volume of new terminology, a whole new language really, can be overwhelming. Before you know it, you're buried under quiz after quiz, with the cumulative final exam where you have two choices left: you fight and survive like a hero, or you quit and drop your class. But we're not going to do that because we are ready from the day one. It's like being given a high-performance ship and a powerful motor. But the instruction manual is written in a language you don't understand yet. You have all the tools, but no one explicitly tells you how to pilot the vessel. Depending on the class structure, the lecture itself might not be the place where initial learning happens. You absolutely have to be in class to get context and see what the professor emphasizes, but don't expect to be spoon-fed every detail. In many modern A&P courses, you'll be handed the curriculum and a mountain of reading material, and you're expected to find your own way through it. This is a class where self-directed learning is must. The expectation is that before every lecture, you've already done the reading and made a first pass at grasping the material. The lecture then becomes a review, a place to clarify confusion and see the concepts in a new light, like a flashback that solidifies what you've already studied. To truly conquer the material, you must engage in active recall after every single lesson. This is non-negotiable. Simply rereading your notes is a passive activity that creates an illusion of knowledge. Instead, you need to force your brain to retrieve the information. This is where practice questions come in. They are the single best way to know if you actually understand the material, and to begin transferring it from your fragile short-term memory into durable long-term storage. Using tools like Quizlet, videos, or Anki for spaced repetition is a game changer. By quizzing yourself on concepts at increasing intervals, you strengthen those neural pathways, ensuring the information is there when you need it for that cumulative final exam. Another key to success is visualization, and there are two powerful ways to achieve this. First, draw everything. Sketch the bones, map out the muscles, and label them from memory. This kinesthetic act of drawing connects your mind and body, creating a stronger memory trace. Second, maximize your time in the lab. Attending lab class and physically handling the models is invaluable. Holding a model skull, feeling its weight, tracing the sutures with your finger. This tactile experience connects the abstract diagrams in your textbook to a tangible, three-dimensional reality. It's the moment when all the separate pieces of information click into place and everything starts to make sense. Without a doubt, one of the hardest parts of anatomy is the sheer memorization required, especially for the names of bones and muscles. The terminology can seem foreign and complex. Some students have a natural knack for it, while others find themselves staring at lists of names that just won't stick. But what if there was a better way than rote memorization? Today, we're going to learn a simple yet powerful technique to memorize the cranial bones, the bones of the skull, and understand their functions by weaving them into a memorable story. The most amazing part of studying human anatomy is that we are the living examples of everything we're learning. The bones and muscles aren't just abstract concepts in a book, they are right here, within us. We just need to learn how to think about our own bodies to understand them. So, let's dive in. We will construct a simple story first. This narrative will act as a mental scaffold, giving you hooks to hang the names of the bones on, making them much easier to remember. Picture this. We have a special spacecraft that allows us to travel backward in time. Our destination is a historical period featuring a grand Persian temple. Now let's transport ourselves to the live scene. Here is our mnemonic story to remember anatomy term. Try to imagine it vividly. We have a spaceship and we can go back to history with it, and right now we are in Persian history. The front of Persian temple was occupied by the trooper. Then we leave the place and our spaceship land to Ethiopia. The front is for the frontal bone. Persian stands for parietal bones. Temple stands for the temporal bones. Occupied stands is for the occipital bone. Spacecraft SP stands for the sphenoid bone. And Ethiopia stands for the ethmoid bone. So let's tally them up. There are 8 cranial bones in total. 4 are singular and 2 come in pairs. We have 1 frontal bone, which forms the forehead, 2 parietal bones located on the sides, 2 temporal bones under the parietals, 1 occipital bone at the back, 1 sphenoid bone, a butterfly-shaped bone in the middle, and 1 ethmoid bone, an irregular bone in front of the sphenoid. Frontal bone. The frontal bone's main functions are protecting the frontal lobe of the brain and forming the structure of the upper face. This includes your forehead and the roof of your eye sockets, or orbits. It also contains the frontal sinuses, which help to lighten the skull and add resonance to your voice. Look closely, and you'll find landmarks like the supraorbital foramen, a small opening above the eye socket for nerves and blood vessels. Parietal bones. The main function of the two parietal bones is structural protection. Their name even comes from the Latin word for wall. They form the majority of the skull's roof and sides, providing a hard barrier to shield the delicate brain tissue from impact. They are joined together at the sagittal suture and connect to other cranial bones at the coronal, lambdoid, and squamous sutures, forming a strong interlocking dome. The temporal bones. The temporal bones are incredibly complex. Their main functions are protecting the temporal lobes of the brain and housing the delicate structures for hearing and balance. They also feature several important landmarks for muscle attachment, including the mastoid process, that large bump you can feel right behind your ear, and the long, pointed styloid process. The occipital bone. The occipital bone forms the back and base of the skull. It protects the brain's vision center, the occipital lobe, and the cerebellum. This bone is crucial for protecting the occipital lobe, the part of the brain that processes all the visual information received from your eyes. Sphenoid bone. The sphenoid bone is perhaps the most fascinating. Its primary function is to be the central support for the skull, acting like a keystone that holds all the other cranial bones together. It's the only bone that articulates with every other cranial bone. If it's hard to remember about butterfly shape, you can think sphenoid bone look like butterfly. If you can remember butterflies and spiders are in nature. It truly ties the cranium together. Finally, the ethmoid bone. This light sponge-like bone is hidden in the skull between the eyes. Its main function relates to our sense of smell. It features the cribriform plate, a sieve-like structure with tiny holes that allow olfactory nerve fibers to pass from the nose directly to the brain. And there you have it. By using our story, front, Persian, temple, occupied, spacecraft, Ethiopia, you now have a powerful hook to remember the frontal, parietal, temporal, occipital, sphenoid, and ethmoid bones, along with their key functions. We did it. You've taken a huge step in mastering the cranium. Keep practicing with active recall and visualization, and you'll build a solid foundation for the rest of the course. Stay tuned for more upcoming tips and tricks to remember all the bones of the body.